What's up, everybody? Liverpool have defeated Salzburg by 4 goals to 3 in what can only be described as a batshit crazy game of football in the Champions League tonight at Anfield. We went 3-0 up. We looked like we were cruising, but credit to Salzburg, they didn't give up. They fought their way back to 3-3, but Liverpool did what champions do. Liverpool went and got the fourth, and we've seen it out. My heart was in my mouth for the last 10 minutes, ladies and gents. I'm not going to lie. That was absolute madness. Absolute madness. Champions League football at its best, defending at its worst, pressing like you probably won't see in a game for a very long time. I said in the preview, Salzburg are a good team not to be underestimated, and they are going to cause people trouble in this Champions League group. Going over there is going to be a really difficult game. But you know what? We put the 3 points on the board tonight. Napoli dropped points away again earlier on. That will benefit us as the group goes on. I'm absolutely exhausted after that one. How the hell is everybody feeling? Connor said to me that was down to the Salzburg manager celebrating a 3-3, giving a Billy Big bollocks, that it came back to bite him in the ass. Good evening, everybody who's coming in. John Irwin's in. Craig, if I wasn't sweating like a dog, I was sweating buckets. Said H_F. It was madness, ladies and gents. Congrats on 23k. Thank you, John. It looks like that the sub count is shit to bed because we're actually close to 23.2. So I don't know what's going on with the sub count there. The live sub count's after shit in the bed. Leicester game will be interesting, said Nathan Carter. John Irwin said he's so relieved. Terrible from Liverpool, said Callum on his second account. Tom Jones said I'm giving Robbo, Gomez and Trent man of the match. Matip was missed today. I don't know if he was, Ted, to be fair. I thought Joe Gomez played quite well there. Look, Matip's been in excellent form, so you got to give him credit on that one anyway. Small team mentality was celebrating like they'd won when they weren't even winning. Twat, said Connor with regard to the Salzburg manager. Cop Council's in. Connor Nibbler, how are you, sir? Said, hey Craig, what a game of football. Ugly performance. Got to get the win. Get in there, red men. I said it at the game. You can go back and watch it back. When it went to 3-3, I said, we're going to win this game. We are still going on to win this game. But that doesn't take away from the sloppiness of allowing a 3-0 lead to get pegged back to 3-3. That shouldn't be happening. Quite frankly, a team of our calibre, that shouldn't be happening. But again, I say that and I don't want to take away from Salzburg, because Salzburg were tremendous tonight. Showed great heart, great courage, played the game in the right way, and they will cause a lot of teams trouble, as I've said. Who scored, said Cormac Cronin. Sadio Mane scored, Mohamed Salah scored 2, and Andy Robertson scored the other one. Van Dijk was trending within like 5 minutes of that goal. He's genuinely gargantuan. What is it about Van Dijk? If someone so much as dribbles past them, the entire world think, oh, let's jump on Virgil van Dijk here and let's have a go. Look, it just goes to show you. People are in awe of Virgil van Dijk. Even opposition fans who were trying to say he was dribbled past. So what? Fucking people get dribbled past every single day of the week in football. It's only because Virgil van Dijk is the best player in the world right now that opposition fans wet themselves when somebody so much as dribbles past them. The guy for Salzburg's goal that turned Van Dijk inside out, it was great centre forward play and it was a really good finish. Brad said, do you not think, or how do you think the game would be at the weekend? Difficult, mate. It's going to be very difficult. Leicester are a really good side. It won't be as open as this game, I don't think, but it was just the pressing of Salzburg. The press, it's like what we do to teams, they did to us at times, and we were sloppy, but I don't want to take away from Salzburg. They deserve a massive credit for having the balls to come back into that game. As we deserve credit for seeing it out as well, but it still doesn't take away. And like Honey Bunny said there, we gave the ball away far too much. Everybody said it's between Napoli and Liverpool. Not anymore, said John T. Salzburg would definitely knock one of them out. John Hamilton said Mane, Robbo and 2 for Salah with regards to the goals. Hello from Waterford to Limo Cotter. How are you, sir? Welcome. That was a bit hectic. Their tactical changes messed us up, said Duck and Fuzz. They're a good team. We said it in the build-up. Myself and Brian Morrissey were talking about this yesterday in the preview show. Salzburg they're no mugs. They're not to be taken lightly. It's such an irrelevant stat as well, said Big Virgil. It is. It's ridiculous. It's one of those stats that is unnecessary. Someone dribble past Van Dijk and Van Dijk breaks the fucking internet. That just goes to show you where we're at right now. We are champions of Europe and we've got a target on our back, ladies and gents, but 3 points at home. I don't know. I'm almost lost for words here, because how do you try and summarise that game in 30 minutes or so? It's almost impossible. Fies Gaming said karma for Salzburg manager. He got too excited. Got a booking as well. I dribble every morning when I wake up, said Domestic Butler. Do you scratch your own nuts as well, mate? Probably. That's what you do when you wake up in the morning, isn't it? They're just going through the goals here now. And that goal from Sadio Mane was just a wonderful team goal. Beautiful little pass in by Bobby Firmino as well for the first one. Mane gets in, knocks it around the keeper. And the night gets off to a great start for Liverpool. But from there on out, we kept pressing, we kept playing well. We went 3-0 up and people were saying, this could be 5, 6, 7. But no. Salzburg showed that they are no mugs. And they came back, they battled. 3-1 became 3-2. 3-2 became 3-3. We're all sitting here going, what the fuck is going on? Salzburg managers almost having orgasms on the side of the pitch. But we showed calmness and we showed champions mentality to go on and win that game 4-3. And that's the important thing here. We won this game. We can go through and we can dissect it and we can talk about the mistakes that were made. But most important thing here is we got the 3 points. Jay said, bring back Mr. Becker. Look, Alisson will be back after the international break, buddy. And Adrian he almost fucked up again tonight. He was closed down and he was lucky that it fell the wrong side of the post for Salzburg, or it could have been another fucked up goal. We're going to the Robbo goal here now, and again it was a beautiful ball by Henderson out wide right to Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it's the run from Robertson across the front of the 6-yard box. Real striker mentality that gets in ahead of his man and knocks it past the goalkeeper. And we were off to a great start. It looked like we were going to absolutely piss this match. How was Gomez? Said Joshua. He didn't do too much wrong, mate. Maybe a little bit of sloppiness for one of the goals, but I thought he was alright, you know. Simon wants player ratings. Why not? Let's go through it. Let's give you some player ratings. Adrian, 6. Don't think he could have done too much with any of the goals, but he didn't help himself at all with that one that was closed down. Trent, involved in everything good going forward. I'm going to give Trent a 7. Gomez, 6. Van Dijk, 7. He won a lot of aerial duels, a hell of a lot of aerial duels. Yes, people will say that he was dribble past. I don't give a shit. You have to judge him like any normal footballer. I'm giving Van Dijk a 7. Robertson gets a 7 just for getting on the score sheet as well as getting forward. Fabinho, it wasn't his greatest game for Liverpool. I'm going to give him a 6. Wijnaldum, 6. Henderson, 6. Henderson did give the ball away for their first goal. Sadio Mane, I'm going to give him a 7. Salah, I've got to give Salah an 8 because he scored 2. But you know what? He should have scored 4 or 5. But he did score 2 and he scored at a really important time. And Bobby Firmino, I'm going to give Firmino a 7 as well. I thought he was really solid. And did everything that you expect of Bobby Firmino. He didn't get on the score sheet tonight, but I think the midfield, if I'm looking at that tonight, the midfield I think let us down a little bit. Was it a lack of dynamism in midfield? Was it a lack of battling? I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me dissect through this. It's very difficult in the heat of the moment to dissect a 4-3 game because you should be over the moon because you've won. But you should have won it much, much more easily. Like you were 3-0 up. 3-0 up. But look, the most important thing is that we did get the win. Not happy about conceding 3 goals, but 3 points is 3 points, said Armin. We should have scored loads more in the first half, said Warren Devos. That was amazing and dreadful, all at the same time, said I'm Juicy Weenus. It's his birthday, said Brad. Give Firmino a 10. Well, happy birthday too, Bobby. I forgot to mention that. I think I said it earlier on, actually. We only needed Matip, says Fies Gaming. Yeah, Matip will probably come back in if that knock is cleared up for the game against Leicester City on Saturday. Who was my man of the match? Well, I gave... Do you know, it's really weird because I gave Salah the highest score because he scored 2. But I don't think I could give him my man of the match, to be honest with you. Who am I giving my man of the match to? I thought Gomez did well, but how could you give a man of the match to a defence that conceded 3? So I'm going to have to stick with Salah and give it to him because of his 2 goals, but there wasn't a performance out there that I deem worthy of saying yes, you were man of the match, if you get me. I thought everybody played well in the first half hour or so, and then we allowed Salzburg back in and we kind of fell apart. Arnold said Genie's so useless when needing an attacking midfielder. He's far from fucking useless, mate. That's a bit of an overreaction. Genie does a lot of things, but then there are games where Genie can almost look anonymous, but to say he does nothing or is useless is ridiculous. Didn't he score an away goal recently as well? Bobby played very well, actually. Said, I'm Juicy Weenus. You always get a good, solid performance from Bobby Firmino, mate. He is the fulcrum for this team that makes us tick. Peter Van der Schaans has given man of the match to Bobby. You guys let me know who your man of the match was, most importantly. Gomez said Rodgers. Callum said Adrian 2. That's a bit harsh, mate. I mean, you couldn't really do anything about the 3 goals, and bar the fuck up of the closed, or the one he was closed down on, I don't know what else you could have really done. Robbo 7, Van Dijk 3. I'm not even reading them out, Callum, because it's a fucking ridiculous set of scores, mate, that you're after giving players there. You gave a player who won about 9 aerial duels a 3. A 3, Callum. And he won about 9 aerial duels. That's ridiculous, mate. Hang your head in shame, because those scores are nuts. Or those player ratings. And to give Salah a 9... The man who missed... I gave him an 8, yes, but he missed a shit ton of chances as well, mate. How could you give Salah a 9 and Van Dijk a 3? That's baffled me, mate. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but that... I don't know. Let's see. If anybody else wants to put in their player ratings, by the way, please do keep them coming. Shows how much we miss Matip. Really? By saying that, you're insinuating that Gomez was shite, and he wasn't. He was far from shite tonight. I can't explain to you what happened there. I can't. Maybe Klopp can do it. Salzburg was awesome. What do you think about them? Said Dreamliner. Like you said, mate, they're a damn fine team. And they've got the heart of champions and the will to win. How was Milner? He was good when he came on. Helped settle down the game and helped us get that 4th to kill it off. Technically, Van Dijk was Ronaldo. Chop pass, not dribble pass. Said Jack's Page. We watched a different game, Craig. Gomez was really bad in my opinion. How? Point out to me, Andre, what he did wrong. I mean, it's all opinion based, as you said, buddy, and there's no hey here. It's just a conversation between 2 lads. But let me know exactly what you think Gomez did wrong, if we're going to slate him so much. 40-year-old Virgil said Gomez shaky at times today. Don't know what happened to the defence second half. Mane was class. Salah was sloppy at times. First half amazing. Second half poor overall. I agree with most of what you said there. I'm not sure about the Gomez being shaky thing though. Look at it. It is just opinions and we all see things differently. Who have we got up there? Caesar Bourne said Gomez did well. Really? I think he did, yeah. Again, anybody who wants to say Gomez was poor, I understand and accept your opinion. But give me a reason why, rather than just saying that he was shit. What do I think about Salzburg? I've already answered that one, mate. They're a very good side. We got 42,000 people watching for the watch-along, which is brilliant. Thank you guys so much for that. Jack's Page gone. Adrian 6, Trent 7, Gomez 6.5, Van Dijk 6.5, Robbo 7, Fabinho 6, Genie 6, Hendo 6, Salah 8.5, Firmino 8, Mane 7.5. I think that's a pretty good set of player ratings there, Jack. Nitin said Hendo had a poor match. He wasn't at his best. The thing about Henderson is there's 2 ways of judging him. From a defensive aspect and tracking back, I thought he did very well at times. He did give the ball away in the first, or for their first goal. There's no denying that one. And he wasn't at his brilliant best. So, yeah, I'll probably lean more towards him having a poorer game than saying he had a good game. I think that's fair. But I wouldn't go overboard on the criticism. Doesn't this just demonstrate how hard it is to win the Champions League? Said Dara. Yes. And it goes to show you how good you have to be, even to win your home games. Like 4-3 tonight against Salzburg. I mean, coming into this game, we were all picking 3-1s, 2-0s, 4-1s. And Salzburg can do damage in this group. I'm not looking forward to going over there for that game, I can tell you that. Well, not me personally going over, but I mean the club. I'm not looking forward to seeing Liverpool travel over to Salzburg for that game, because it's going to be a battle for Napoli going over there, for us going over there. You can see where they tore Genk apart. Right, what else we got? Dave's in. How are you, Dave? Welcome, buddy. No defender can be above a 6 if you can see 3 goals, in my opinion, said Domestic Butler. Gomez was really bad. He can't partner Van Dijk. Again, why? It's like people saying he was bad. Why? Just let me know why. It's much easier if I can get a reasoning. Gomez out of position and let them cut in, said Callum. Did he? I'll have to watch it back, Callum, mate. I'll take your word for it, but I'll have to watch it back. Debbie Scale said it's a win. Let's think ahead of the next 3 points. Would love a bit more creativity from that midfield. Kurt, I would agree with you on that, mate. It is something that I think we lack tonight from midfield. The one good instance was for Robbo's goal where Henderson whipped the ball out wide right to Trent, and Trent immediately whipped it in. So that was just good, quick, incisive passing from Henderson. But you are right. I think we will get that though. We'll get that from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. We'll hopefully get that dynamism from Naby Keita as well when he works his way back to fitness. Andrew Childerho said, "Holy Craig, what a nerve-wracking game." It was batshit crazy, mate. It's the only way I can describe it. And look, there might be some heated words exchanged here, ladies and gents, between everybody. We're all a bit bemused at what's gone on there. But if anything is said here in the heat of the moment, please don't take it to heart. It is just opinions at the end of the day. Caesar Bourne said, "This group is still very open. Salzburg can beat us at their ground." I think that, yeah, as I said, it's going to be a handful for anybody. Liam O'Connor said Robbo was his man of the match. Bradley Wood said, "A win is a win. We need to win all our home games and beat Genk home and away." Who's our next game of the Champions League? I'll pull that up for you now, Ted. 1 second. What have we got? Right, fixtures. Right, next up for Reds is a away game against Genk. So you'd hope we can pick up the 3 points over there, and Napoli travel to Salzburg, which is a very, very difficult game for them. Connor said that we've just hit 23.2 thousand subscribers, so please do keep hitting that subscribe button, ladies and gents. Amazingly, after less than 20 months, we're on the road to 25,000 subscribers, so every single one of your subscriptions counts. Please, please, please hit that button, turn notifications on, and give us an L thumbs up. Pep's coming to the toffees. Harold, you always make me smile, buddy. It's great to see you in the chat as well, mate. I hope that you're keeping well, but the Cop-Bites definitely are not running scared, my friend. Don't mind being taught a lesson as long as we still win, said Yusuf. Yeah, I mean, at this time of the season, particularly in the league, it's just about putting the points on the board, and we've done that again tonight in the Champions League. Saturday against Leicester is going to be a massive, massive game. If we can go into the international break with 8 wins out of 8, that piles the pressure back onto Manchester City. Where was Kev's comment? I've seen a comment there from Kev somewhere. Sorry, mate, I'm after missing it. What's your midfield against Leicester? Tune in tomorrow, Adida, mate. I'm going to do a preview of the Leicester game tomorrow. I'll give you my score prediction, my predicted starting 11. I've got videos coming up as well from Boya and from Lee Chappie, 2 Leicester fans, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be pre-recording that segment actually with Boya tomorrow night, so that'll go out on Friday. But I'll give you my preview of, just my preview tomorrow, so tune in for that one. Hopefully between us all we can pick a starting 11. Caesar Bourne said, "I'm happy this game will teach us a lesson. We won and we learned a lesson." Fabinho was alright but made a mistake or two, said Armin. Klopp should have put on Milner at 3-0, kill off the game, head for Leicester, said Dave Sweeney. Yes, I kind of agree with you, mate. 3-0 up, I would have liked to have seen a change or two. But I suppose it's easy for us in hindsight to look back at it. Sometimes football is just mad. I mean, we've been involved in a lot of these crazy games over the years. Leicester will be our hardest game, said Dara. I agree. I think Leicester are going to be very, very difficult. I'll tell you what though, I am happy that this game on Saturday is at Anfield and not the King Power, particularly at this stage of the season. Leicester sitting pretty in third on 14 points if memory serves me correct. But most importantly, and I said this in my preview for Boya's channel, Leicester have played 3 games away from home and they've taken 4 points compared to the 10 points that they've taken at home. So yeah, on the road they're not the same team, but they're still going to be a handful. Andrew McGregor said underestimated Salzburg. I didn't. I don't think Kloppo did as well. I mean, Kloppo during the week, maybe you're giving your own opinion here, Andrew, and you're saying that you underestimated them, buddy, but Klopp said he knows them better than anybody else. He's been keeping an eye on them. My preview said don't underestimate them. But maybe a lot of Liverpool fans did, but this will wake Europe and a lot of people up to quite how good that Salzburg team are. And there are some players in there. I mean, Haaland looks like an absolute handful when he came on. The guy who scored I think he scored 2 goals for them tonight. There's some players in that Salzburg team that we should be keeping an eye on because they play the style of football that we like to play. They press, they're full of energy, and they never give up. The mentality of that team is good. And do you know what? I hope we're keeping track of a few of those players. Callum said Mane and Salah did an interview on BT Sport. I will watch that one back later on, mate. Thank you very much. Why wasn't Matip playing? He had a knock, Elliot, mate. He had a knock that ruled him out tonight. Owen, talk to you soon, buddy. Pleasure to have you in. Bowie169 said we won, not the best performance, but a win is a win. We've been playing poor for a couple of games. Chelsea, Sheffield and Salzburg, we need to improve. Do you know what, mate? I agree with you. And Isn't it good to say, though, as much as we're sitting here and we're agreeing that we haven't put in the best of performances, how nice is it to be sitting here and saying that we've won all our games? We've won 7 out of 7 in the Premier League. Well, we lost in Napoli, but recently. And we went tonight and won 4-3 after a mad game of football. Gomez didn't cement his first 11 play, said Chris. I would agree with that now. I would agree with that one. We've had a little bit of a disagreement between us here tonight about whether Gomez had a poor game or a decent game. But with that in mind, I would agree that Matip comes back in to partner Van Dijk on Saturday if he's fit. Fabinho was poor today, said Moses fabulous. Chelsea away was tougher than Leicester because it's Anfield. Chelsea away was a difficult game and a great win, by the way, Carl. An absolutely great win, but Leicester are good. And if we beat them on Saturday, go into this international break with 8 wins out of 8, it's going to be just a wonderful start to the season. How are we feeling about this game, though, ladies and gents? I mean, we won it, which is great, but it's a weird feeling, isn't it, when you're 3-0 up and you're pegged back to 3-3. Show tremendous balls to go and get the fourth to win the game, but it is a strange feeling sitting here knowing that we conceded 3 at Anfield. It just feels weird. Liverpool nearly gave me a cardiac arrest, said Sean Chow. I hear you, mate. I get where you're coming from. A lot of nervous people during the watch-along. Matip was sorely missed today, said Ibrahima John. What has happened to our defence this season? Shipping goals for fun, said Norbert. I don't know. But again, how mad is it, mate, that, as you're right, our defence hasn't been up to its best, but we're still unbeaten in the Premier League. And not just unbeaten, we're perfect. I'm Juicy Weena, said we didn't play bad, we just had a bad 15 minutes. Yeah, I could get that as well, but it still equates to conceding 3 goals, which you shouldn't be doing at home. We need an attacking midfielder, said Louis. I don't know who. Kai Havertz is a good shout, buddy. But I wonder, like Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain, when they get back to form, second half of the season maybe, we'll see that dynamism from midfield. Connor said it's our first time conceding 3 at Anfield in 5 years. And let's just spare a thought here. We're sitting here complaining about, and rightly, complaining about conceding 3 and winning 4-3. Look at what happened to Spurs last night in the Champions League. They were Champions League finalists last year, and they lost 7-2. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for Liverpool here tonight because, you know, we won, but you need to look at that defensive performance. But yeah, imagine being a Spurs fan right now after a 7-2 whooping by Bayern Munich. Craig Crosby said, did you see the kid hold up 6 fingers when the camera went past? I couldn't stop laughing. No, I didn't, mate. But fair play to the kid. Alisson coming back will boost the defence massively, said LFC Ireland Celtic. Yes, it will. Having him back after the international break will do us the world of good. Kev said, every season is different. Last season we hardly shipped any goals, plus the Alisson factor is major. As good as Adrian has been, he's no bearded Adonis. I agree with you. And it is mad because the season before last, we were attacking for fun, but we were conceding some goals. And then last season we went in and people were saying, is this a change of tactic from Klopp? Are we being, concentrating on not conceding and hoping that our forwards can go bang us a goal and win a game? And we did that. We seen out a lot of games last year winning 1-0. And then this year I don't know what we're getting, but we're still winning all the games. So it's almost impossible to predict. And we are definitely holding a higher line this year in the Premier League because we're hoping that between the defence and VAR we'll get those decisions right. But it's hard to tell what Liverpool team we're seeing so far. I'm genuinely confused, but confused and happy, if that makes sense. I'm happy that we got the result tonight. I'm happy that we're perfect in the Premier League, but there are vulnerabilities that need to be addressed, particularly in a defensive perspective. Stephen Norris said, Craig, you're a legend. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Do you think we'll focus on the Premier League more this season? It's a really difficult question to answer because I can't say that we're intentionally going to treat any competition with less respect. But for me, and I said this last season, even though we won the Champions League, the Premier League's the most important for us as a club because we haven't won the top flight in 30 years. And that's too long for a club like Liverpool. So, yeah, we've got to concentrate on the Premier League, but you can't turn your back on the Champions League as well. Somebody said, where was it? Somebody said that the Echo gave Gomez a 5. I'd love to know the rest of the scores though. Great first half, shambolic second half, said LFC 8092. I think we're working on game management, said Warren Devos. Gomez a little bit rusty and a bit shaky still, said Jay Delaney. Was a game only LFC can produce, never boring, said Sean O'Donnell. Sean, I'd agree with you on that, mate. And Connor put in there as well, if anyone has a spare for Saturday, get in touch. Please do get in touch, because our good friend Dave of Dave's LFC Chats is heading over and he's in need of a ticket. So if anybody can help Dave out, you can either contact them via our email and we'll pass it on, AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com, AnfieldAgenda@gmail.com, or you can get in contact with Dave's LFC Chats there on his own channel, or over on Twitter as well. But if you can help Dave out, a nicer human being you will not meet. And if anyone can help Dave out with a spare, please do. Manchester City would have killed Salzburg. We underestimated them, said Casper. I don't think we did underestimate them, you know, mate. I really don't think we did. As Klopp said, he knows all about them. I just think it was a batshit crazy game of football. Yeah, it's tough to explain how that happened. And I've got Klopp's interview paused here to watch when the stream's over, because I'm really interested to hear what he has to say on it. Should have started Lovren or would have started Lovren, says Wakaz. I think maybe, mate, he's just a little bit not up to match speed. He's coming back as well from quite a while out, Lovren. Look, a lot of people seem to be saying that it wasn't Gomez's best game, and I've often said at times we see the game differently. I didn't think he was as bad as people are making out, but if so many people are of the same opinion, then sometimes I might have to put my hands up and say, do you know what? I could have looked at this differently, and maybe Gomez did have a poorer game than I've suggested. But that in mind, it still doesn't give carte blanche to blame Gomez for that performance or for those 3 goals. First one was Hendo's fault for giving the ball away. But as a whole, defensively, we shouldn't be shipping 3 goals. It's as simple as that, especially not at home. Oh yes, Elliot, good point, mate. Said reaction on being fined 100,000 to 200,000 by the EFL. I want to talk about that actually, and thank you so much, Elliot, for bringing that up, mate. Let me just pull up the article on that one. Okay, where are we? Sorry, I'm trying to pull up this article here. Right, so we do know that Liverpool fielded or potentially fielded an ineligible player in Pedro Chirivella during our 2-0 victory against the MK Dons in the Carabao Cup, and we were wondering what was going to happen there. I'm going to read this article out, and again I want to give credit to its writer, so it's from Sky Sports News. It's up there if anybody else wants to give it a read. So Liverpool avoid Carabao Cup expulsion. Liverpool have avoided being expelled from the Carabao Cup after fielding an ineligible player in their win over the MK Dons. Pedro Chirivella came on as a substitute in the 2-0 win away to Sky Bet League One side in their third round match on September 25th, but did not have international clearance following the expiry of his loan side with Spanish side Extremadura last season. Here's the important part. Liverpool have instead been fined £200,000 with £100,000 suspended until the end of the 2020-2021 season, which means they are free to face Arsenal in the 4th round on October 29th. Following a comprehensive review of all the evidence, the board determined that it wasn't appropriate to expel the club from the competition because of a number of mitigating factors, read a statement from the EFL. In particular, the board noted that the club had sought the assistance of the Football Association in securing the return of the international clearance prior to the start of the season, and the club had been able to include the player on team sheets for Premier League 2 matches under Premier League rules, and one Leasing.com trophy match, which resulted in the breach not being identified until the club reported the issue to the EFL and the Premier League following the MK Dons match. As a result, the club has also been found guilty of misconduct in relation to the same breach for having fielded the player in the defeat against Oldham Athletic in the Leasing.com trophy on the 7th of August. The club will be liable for the suspended sum of £100,000 plus an additional sanction if they were to again field an ineligible player in the Carabao Cup between now and the end of next season. So that's basically the long and short of it, ladies and gents. We have a fine of £100,000 to pay. Another £100,000 has been held off if we don't break the rules again by the end of next season. That's basically it. So Liverpool are free to face Arsenal on the in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Right, Salzburg, a low ball possession percentage, but we're still able to score. Yes, they counter attack like motherfuckers, mate, and I mean that in a very positive way. I said it during the game. They looked dangerous every single time that they got on the ball. They did to us what we do to many teams. Connor said he thought Gomez was one of our better players. Again, it just goes to show, isn't it? Like, I thought he was alright as well. It's mad. We all view the game in different ways, but what we can all agree on here is that the Reds won. Adam said, what was I feeling at 3-3? Anger, confusion, but you can go back and watch it, Adam. I said full of confidence that we're going to go and win this game, and we did. And I don't mean to blow my own trumpet there, but I believe in this group of players. I believe that they'll dig deep and they'll grind out a win. And we got that win tonight, mate, but it wasn't pretty. And at 3-3, rightly, we were nervy, and Salzburg had their tails up. Okay, what else we got? Domestic Butler said, Daves needs a ticket. Please help somebody. He's such a nice guy. Absolutely agree with that. Graham Sangster said Gomez wasn't that bad. He got a 5, then Virgil must have got a 4. Trent left Joe to cover the wing most of the game. Daniel said very, very poor. I think we came into the game thinking we were going to win, but we're impressed with Salzburg. Honestly, if Klopp said it himself during the week, we didn't underestimate Salzburg. They just are a good team. And Klopp would have prepared them for what was coming, but Salzburg showed up and showed tremendous heart and grit and balls, and even at 3-0 down, kept plugging away. And that will stand them in good stead. They'll go back tonight and they'll be disappointed that they didn't get anything from the game, but they'll also be full of confidence. Gomez was great in the 1v1s. Hendo was fabulous. Not enough protection today, said Jamie Lanigan. Gomez was poor, didn't hold the defensive line. VVD lacked poise and confidence with Joe beside him. I don't think VVD ever lacked confidence, to be fair, Jojo. And VVD won at least 8 aerial duels that I could think of as well. But that being said, Matip has been sensational when he's been in this season. I wonder how much you get for winning the competition, never mind being fined, to Domestic Butler. I have no idea, mate, for the Carabao Cup, what the prize money is. Elliot Morris said, do you reckon the Bernardo Silva situation for City with him missing for 6 games will affect him? Is he missing for 6 games? I know he's been charged by the Premier League with misconduct, but I don't quite know what the punishment is there for that one. If it is 6 games, then that will definitely affect Manchester City. They're already without a load of players. Sané's out for a long time. Obviously, Laporte's out as well. Stones is out, so they're struggling for centre-backs. But look, the incident with Bernardo Silva, how do I say this? Obviously, Manchester City are going to support their player, but it is hypocrisy of the fucking highest order there. Whatever your thoughts are on Bernardo Silva putting up the photograph of a young Mendy and that cartoon character, the video where he said that he's naked only for a backpack, that's just completely unacceptable. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit if he's his mate. And Raheem Sterling was put in a very awkward position actually in an interview the other night. But Pep Guardiola needs to just shut the fuck up, because he is being embarrassing at this point. Bernardo Silva's been found guilty. He'll have a right to appeal that, and whatever happens will happen. But from my point of view, the Instagram video that came out is completely unacceptable and was racism. I'm sorry, in my view, and it is just my view. Whether they're friends or not, it doesn't matter. You can't be putting that stuff and talking like that on a public forum, particularly when you're in a position that Bernardo Silva is in. I love Bernardo Silva as a footballer. I think he's an exceptional player. But that just wasn't right. I'm sorry, it just wasn't right. I'm not going to bang on about it. I'm only talking about it because somebody asked in the chat. De Bruyne injured as well, said Casper. I don't think he'll be out for too long though, buddy. I think he'll be back after the international break. Adam said, I agree, Craig, but they haven't mentioned on Sky in the video. Yeah, on Sky they're only talking about the photo, I think, mate, to be fair. Loving the stream, said Damien Davies. Thank you, buddy. And I hope everyone that is loving the stream gives us a thumbs up. I'll tell you why, because if you hit that thumbs up button and comment in the section below, it helps drive the channel out there, and it helps get people, or make people aware that we exist. And also, if you can hit the subscribe button, that would be tickety-boo. I'm absolutely exhausted. My mind's going 100 miles a minute here. Pep Guardiola needs to shut up and stop talking about Liverpool. I would absolutely agree on that one as well, mate. You can see the pressure starting to show on Pep. Even before the season started, he was talking about Liverpool. Lois Beeb said Raheem Sterling defending racism. I know players are loyal to each other, but this is too much. He was put in a really awkward position. I I didn't really agree with what Raheem said either, but I mean, I do have to feel from being put in that position. It was a very fucking difficult interview. Gomez didn't play good, said Kamal. Did we miss Matip tonight? Asked Sean O'Donnell. I think a lot of people, Sean, would answer that with a yes. Kev said, I say we just break the rule again for fun. We'll just drop 100 grand there, and Kevin say, fuck the rules, mate. Here's 100 grand. What do I think of Conte replacing Klopp if he leaves? Well, he's just taken a new job at Inter Milan. He ain't going to be leaving that job anytime soon. I've always rated Conte as a manager. He's an exceptional manager. I don't think he'll be the future Liverpool manager, if I'm being honest, but I've nothing but respect for Antonio Conte as a manager. He's a very, very, very good manager. Did I hear what John Barnes said about the insult Bernardo Silva? No, Tom, I didn't, mate. I didn't see it. I remember Eto excusing Pep of racism, said Adam Whitehead. Nana Ware said Gomez was rusty and poor and Henderson was so bad and Klopp should change him after the first goal. He kept giving the ball away and was slow. We really missed Matip tonight, said Rowan Nelson. Come on everyone, give this awesome stream a thumbs up, said Warren Devos. Thank you so much, sir. Please do, and please do keep hitting that subscribe button as well. The more subscribers we get, the more people I get to know about the channel. Barnes supported Silva, said Adam. Again, the photographic thing, I don't know about. I honestly don't know what to make of the photo we put up. What I will say is, if I put up a photo of Kevin De Bruyne and a photo of Tintin, nobody's losing their minds about it. Be honest about it. It's the video that's the one that I have a stronger opinion on. The fact that he said he was naked except for a backpack, that's the part that I find inexcusable. All I was saying, Craig's prize money is probably lower than the fine. I don't know, Carol. I'd imagine it isn't. To be fair, I'd imagine the prize money is more than 100 grand for the Carabao Cup. So just the ticket sales alone for the final, your share of that will be more than 100 grand. Lois Beeb said, I agree with you, Craig. I respect Conte highly. He doesn't seem Liverpool's style. And he deserved better treatment as well than he got at Chelsea, mate. I've said that from the very time he was sacked. Ross Mulcahy said, Gomez, to be fair with him, just got his first start in a good while. I think Liverpool needs to regain that link with defending with Van Dijk. Nevertheless, Mo Salah is back on the score sheet, said Ross. Yes, great to see him score too tonight, Ross. Good to see Sadio got a goal as well. And I'm over the moon for Robbo that he got a goal. I mean, don't underestimate, watch it back. The run from Andy Robertson across the 6-yard box to get ahead of the defender to tap that one in was sensational. It was really, really good attacking instincts. There was a lack of concentration tonight, said Storm Thomas. Now that's a good comment. And Storm, I know we usually miss each other actually. You usually comment after the videos have gone up, so it's great to see you in the live chat. But yeah, I agree. A lack of concentration for that 15-20 minute spell. Did I see Fabregas tweet put Mane in the top 3 players in the world? I can understand why, has he? Sadio is sensational. Daniel said, I think the front 3 need to start making the right decisions. Salah is shooting when he should be passing, but when he should shoot, he passes, he shoots, and vice versa. I don't know if something's got into our front 3's head. I don't know if all this shite on social media about them being too guilty or not passing at the right times has got into their head, because sometimes I feel like they're second guessing themselves and sometimes they're overplaying. But then again, it's hard to be critical of that front 3 when they're so damn good. Lols Beeb said 4-2-3-1 emergency plan. Klopp seems to work effectively. Brian said that's because white people haven't been historically negatively stereotyped because of race, whereas black people have. That's why Tintin isn't offensive. Sort of. Look, mate, this is a wider subject than we can cover in a few sentences here, but remember the phrase no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, Brian. So white people... Look, I don't even want to get into this, mate, because I'm not qualified to talk about it. But I respect your decision, or I respect your comment, Brian, as always. Salah hasn't been up to his best recently, said David Murdoch. Will said it wasn't a lack of concentration. We just think we're better than we are. No killer instinct. No killer instinct, Will. We literally beat Barcelona 4-0 at home last year. We came back from 3-3 tonight to win. We haven't lost a game this season. To say Liverpool have no killer instinct is strange. I mean, we don't put teams to the sword, perhaps like a Manchester City team do at times, but I think personally, Will, my opinion only, I think you're being a little bit overly critical there, but it is your opinion, mate, and you're entitled to it. I watched the Haaland goal back. It was offside. If it was offside, it should have been flagged, surely. We need to rotate like Manchester City. We don't have the depth of squad like Manchester City. But in saying that, look, I'm not moaning about our squad. We have players there, just a lot of them coming back, like Naby coming back from an injury, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back as well, getting back to full fitness, Lallana coming back to full fitness, Lovren after being out quite a long time as well, Joe Gomez coming back from a long time out, and then we've got players who are out for quite a while as well. So look, I'm not complaining about our squad. All clubs get injuries, but I think Klopp will rotate when he feels like he can rotate. God, I feel like we're all disagreeing a lot tonight, but it's because I think there's a lot of questions in our heads. Matip is a beast. The guy does so much, said Andy Panda. Craig, do you think we'll stay undefeated in the league until we play City? Undefeated, yes, domestic butler. I do. But I don't think we'll stay perfect until we play Manchester City. I think there might be a draw on the horizon after the international break, maybe in the Spurs game perhaps, or the United game. I mean, but I do think we'll stay undefeated till that game, yes. Rotation is key, said Mr. Khan. I think Manchester City will win 2-1, said David Murdoch. Racism goes both ways. I'm a liberal, said Kurt Cobain. Arez said, thank goodness we won the match tonight. If they lost, could have had a heart attack. Yeah, that was very important to get those 3 points at home. It really was. When's Alisson returning? After the international break, mate. He's back in training now, and he'll be good to go after the international break. Thoughts on Virgil's performance, asked Marley. Wasn't his greatest performance. Aerially, he was class as always. But look, it's hard to defend an entire defence and the midfield when we can see 3 goals. So, it wasn't our defence's greatest performance all around. I think it's fair to say, but the forwards dug us out there today again and banged in 4 goals, and thankfully we got the 3 points. Why do we still have racism in 2019, said Andrew McGregor. I agree, mate. It is ridiculous that somebody has been judged for their skin colour, or somebody's been judged for their religion, their sexual orientation. I keep saying it before, all we need in this world is love, mate. More love. Show people love, and the world will be an infinitely better place. I agree, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't exist. Cato will make a big difference in that midfield, said Adita. This will be the hardest run of games in a massive few months ahead, said you'll never walk alone up the Reds. Yes, the fixtures have been quite unkind to us, but it is what it is. We got to keep grinding them out. And we're top of the fucking league. 7 wins from 7, 16 wins in a row. Do I think Wijnaldum is underrated? No, but I don't think he's overrated either. I think people just appreciate David, how good he is, although tonight wasn't his best performance. Ian said, what did you make of Haaland, Craig? Do you think he'd be a good signing for Liverpool? He's a fucking handful, mate, isn't he? And a big lump of a fella. I think there will be top clubs all around Europe looking at that guy, and rightly so. I think he's already banged in some ridiculous amount of goals. Like, I can't even remember off the top of my head, but he's banging in goals for fun this season. Another one tonight. And yes, we should be looking at him. And I think all top clubs in Europe will be looking at him, mate. And his dad, as good a career as his dad had as a top level footballer, I think his son is going to eclipse his father's career if he continues on the trajectory like he has. Brian said, I have a massive headache, so patience is team. But what point do we ask what's happening with Chamberlain and Keita? Yeah, I get you. I honestly understand anybody who's wondering what's going on there. I don't know, Brian, though, if you mean from an injury perspective or why they're not playing right now. Warren Devo said, we passed the test tonight. If you score 3 against us, we'll score 4. Just as Barcelona. What else have we got? Big men look tired, said Kamal. Yes, there's a lot of football being played already, you're right, mate, and hopefully we can get a chance to rotate, and fingers crossed nobody picks up a knock on this international break. 18 goals in 10 games, said Lux. That is ridiculous from Haaland, but I meant that in a complimentary way, obviously. 4 hat-tricks. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be looked at, isn't he, by all the top clubs around Europe. Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to call that a night. Thank you so much for joining us. Please do hit that subscribe button before you head off if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up and make sure to turn on the notifications. If you're watching this stream on playback, please do let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your thoughts on Gomez, who seemed to be the main sticking point between us tonight here in the chat? I'll be back tomorrow with a preview of the Leicester game. And the late night agenda as always, so keep an eye out. 9:45 tomorrow actually. We'll allow the Europa League nonsense to take its place, and then we'll come on at 9:45 with our stream. Expect video coming up from Boya as well later on in the week. But look, as always, ladies and gents, your support means the world to us. Thank you so much again for everyone that tuned in tonight. The Reds got the job done in the end. I'm still confused as to what the hell went on there. But 3 points is 3 points. Love to you all. Thank you for your support. And up the motherfucking Reds. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Lots of love.